Hi, friends. Today we are going to be getting into how your self image is shaped and why it's important, how you can use this to improve yourself and really create like lasting, real change. So, things like how you talk to yourself, your environment, your past experiences, these are kind of like invisible forces silently influencing how you see yourself. And today we're going to get into exactly how that works. So, we're going to go back to a time really quickly when my self image just wasn't good. It was not where it is today. I remember waking up in this like really long season of my life, feeling just like heavy, discouraged, depressive, feeling a lot of self doubt, constantly, constantly, constantly questioning in my abilities as a mom and as a person. I felt lost. I felt disconnected. Um, I was showing up for my life, but with a version of me that just felt very small and very limited. It wasn't really until I started unpacking these, like I said, invisible forces that were shaping my self image, my self concept. Um, so, like my inner dialogue, subconscious beliefs, past conditioning, dissecting all of that is when I began to really see transformation. And this is when people would meet with me after some time apart and just be like, you just seem so different. You look different. I was starting to get DMs really often, like every week, about like, you're glowing, your energy is so different. You just seem so different. You seem so happy, so grounded, whatever. And I felt that. I felt that way. And there is science behind all of this, which I, of course, love. So I'm going to share all of that with you as well. Stick with me today because not only is this episode packed with the science of self-concept and how you can take control back, but I'm also going to give you a little sneak peek into something special that I've got coming up. So let's talk about the science of self-image. So self-image is essentially how you see yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your worth, but it goes beyond like surface level thought. It's actually really deeply ingrained in your subconscious mind. It's programming. Like, remember, according to psychocybernetics, the subconscious mind is actually not a mind. It is functioning like a computer, and it's functioning based off of the programming. So how you see yourself is a huge part of your programming. So your subconscious mind, your computer, is filtering things, seeing things, and reacting and responding to different stimuli and things happening in your life according to that part of that programming, that self-image that you have of yourself. So this is why somebody could get a comment from somebody and take it as a compliment and just be like, oh, like, thank you, and think nothing else of it. Versus that same comment could come to you, but if you have a certain view of yourself, you could take it really negatively. It could ruin your day. So let's look at the neuroscience aspect of this first. Your subconscious mind plays a massive role in shaping your self-image, your self-concept. About 95% of our thoughts are automatic and subconscious. So this means that almost all of your self-image is running on autopilot based on your early experiences, your beliefs, and your conditioning. Research that was done by cognitive neuroscientists talked about how the subconscious mind processes 11 million bits of information per second, while the conscious mind can only process about 50. So this means most of your self-perception is driven by the subconscious programming, past experiences, things you were told as a kid, media influences that you've internalized over time. And then we also have neuroplasticity. So every time you think about yourself in a certain way, so for example, I am just clearly not good enough. I obviously can't make anyone stick around. I always fail. Of course, that would happen to me. Things like that. Every time you think about yourself a certain way, you're reinforcing that neural pathway and it's getting stronger and stronger. The more you repeat it, the stronger that pathway becomes. And studies show that neuroplasticity allows you to rewire your brain by consciously changing your thoughts. You can reprogram those pathways to support a healthier, more like positive self-image by practicing things like intentional self-talk, visualizations, affirmations. This is a huge reason that the daily reprogramming ritual I had created includes the things that it includes. It's using neuroplasticity. It's forming those new neural pathways to literally shift yourself at a self-concept identity level. So let's talk about self-talk. This is a part of the daily reprogramming ritual, and this is a huge part of the science of, the forces shaping your self-image. So self-talk is your inner dialogue, okay? Negative self-talk directly impacts your confidence and your self-image in a very powerful way. Research from the field of cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, shows that our thoughts literally create our reality. So if your self-talk is negative, it distorts your perception of reality, making you feel less capable, and you're going to basically see that happening and see proof of it. So I used to tell myself things like, you're not doing enough, or you're not going to make it to that next level because you're not doing enough. And I didn't realize how much these subtle subconscious things that internal dialogue, that internal voice was saying, these everyday thoughts were keeping me stuck. So the actionable tip I want to give you for this part is to start practicing positive self-talk. This is why I create positive self-talk rampages where I am talking positive about you, and you can just hit play and let that begin to form those new neural pathways for you. And I want you to start reading out affirmations and just speaking positive truths about yourself and speaking life over yourself. This is not woo. This is fucking science. It works. You will feel a shift. You will eventually and pretty quickly notice a difference in how you talk to yourself, how you think about yourself, how you dress, how you show up, because you're forming those new neural pathways, and 95% of what you do, who you are, how you respond to things is coming from it. And so when you catch yourself being critical, I want you to pause and ask yourself, is this really true? Specifically, how is that true? And shift the narrative to, maybe it has been true, but I'm capable. I'm doing my best. I'm resourceful. I'm shifting. I'm evolving. This rewires your brain over time because you're redirecting when that old neural pathway forms that familiar thought. You're switching it, and so you're forming new neural pathways. Okay. Now, another thing is environmental influences. I talk all the time about how your environment affects you. Your physical space, what you're eating, what you're drinking, the people you're around. But I really want to talk about your physical space in this part. Your environment plays a massive role in shaping your self-image and your reality. Studies repeatedly show that a cluttered or chaotic environment is going to increase cortisol levels, the stress hormone. This is going to negatively affect how you perceive yourself and your abilities. And I want to go back to that UCLA study that found that people living in cluttered spaces experienced way heightened stress, and it led them to have negative perceptions of themselves and even their families. So, practical tip here, declutter. Let's go back to the OG days and declutter your space. Even small changes like organizing a desk or an area that you spend a lot of time in, or tidying up a room, this can shift how you feel about yourself. It literally is therapeutic, and it shifts to okay, I got this. I'm a little more organized now. I did it. I did something. It's positive, right? An organized environment is going to reduce mental clutter and create a sense of accomplishment and an improved sense of self. It's really connected. And I like it because it's something physical that you can do. And that feels good sometimes when you kind of feel overwhelmed by the inner work that's more invisible. And then the other thing I really want to touch on is the early conditioning and social programming. So from childhood, we're conditioned to view ourselves through the lens of others, parents, teachers, relatives, siblings, society. These experiences are stored in the subconscious. It remembers everything, and they shape your self-image for years, most of the time without you even realizing it. Psychologists have actually found that self-image is heavily influenced by external feedback, especially during your formative years. Okay. So ages 0 to 7. So messages like, you're too loud, or, oh, careful, you're just not good at that. I don't think you can succeed at that. even if they weren't directly said, but you just got the vibes of those messages, can become ingrained in your psyche and need to be rewired. So the tip here, the action here, is I want you to begin to question the beliefs you've carried with you since childhood. Ask yourself, like, what do I believe about myself? Whose voice is this? Is it mine? Or did I pick it up from someone else and it stayed with me? And start replacing those old limiting beliefs with ones that feel better and empower you, because you will become what you believe you are. So if you don't like a belief, get it out and believe something new, because that is how you're going to end up showing up. And it's really cool that we have that much power. Like, it's very empowering to think about that. So let's move into reprogramming your self-image. So this is going to be all about neuroplasticity, okay? We've touched on it, but let's get a little bit deeper into using it to reprogram how you see yourself, your self-concept. So visualization is one of the most powerful ways to reprogram your brain and your self-image, because you are literally using your brain's most powerful communication source, visuals, to see yourself in a different light, see yourself doing something different, see yourself having success, see yourself having a fit body, see yourself eating healthy, see yourself having the dream partner that you want, see yourself having a healthy pregnancy, like whatever it is. When you visualize yourself as the positive things, confident, successful, capable, your brain starts to believe it because it cannot tell the difference between reality and imagination. Over time, those new neural pathways become stronger and stronger. You're going to notice that all the things that science backs up are in the daily reprogramming ritual. There's a reason that I put these things in here. I did my research. Trust me, just do the daily reprogramming ritual for 25 minutes a day and your life will rapidly shift. Commit to it for 30 days and just watch what happens. Anyway, next, another step in my method, but also with the neuroplasticity and the science of this, is affirmations. So this is where that daily self-talk comes in, that positive self-talk, affirmations. By repeating statements, specifically I am statements like I am worthy or I am enough just as I am, you are literally creating new neural connections that reinforce a healthier self-image. And this will rapidly change the way you show up in the world, the way you handle things, the way you feel, how other people just affect you less in a good way. And the other thing is journaling, again, in the reprogramming ritual. But this is an amazing tool. I focus on scripting, which is journaling as your future self. But any form of journaling is going to be helpful. There are a lot of things that are fired off cognitively when you put physical pen to physical paper. So the reason I prefer scripting is because science shows that when you write as the future version of yourself, how she shows up, how she carries herself, and you're putting that on paper, you're firing all of these different cognitive parts of your brain and programming your subconscious to start seeing you in that light. It is very powerful. So I don't care if you're not a pen and paper girl, if you're not a journaler, you what do you want? Do you want these results? Do you want to shift? Do you want to really shift at an identity level? And let me also explain here. The reason we want to shift at an identity level, shift your self-image itself, is because changing your self-image means you're not faking it till you make it. You're not using force or willpower or getting and staying motivated to make changes. You shifted yourself at an identity level. So this is just who you are now. This is just the way you eat now. And you don't have to try. You don't have to force. You don't have to follow a diet. You don't have to force yourself to go to the gym. It's just weird if you don't. It's weird if you skip it because it's part of who you are now. So this is very powerful, my loves, and it's so much easier to get consistent with the daily reprogramming ritual than it is to try to force yourself and like keep trying these new things, these new fads, these new trends to like better yourself or change things about yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, even relationally. If you just focus on shifting your self-image, the symptoms are going to clear that you don't like, and new symptoms of this change are going to show up. So this is why, like, I'm the Becoming Her Collective, this is what we do. This is why I invented it and have the daily ritual and the method, because this is the science that's going to work. Women are losing weight. They're healing their bodies. They're feeling more connected to themselves. They're having better intercourse with their partners. They're improving their relationships. They're growing businesses. They're receiving money, and they're not even the breadwinners, but their families are receiving more money into their financial situations. The business owners are getting new clients. Things are just happening because they're switching their self-image. This is why I'm always talking to you guys about this and wanting to get you in the collective, because this is the work we're doing and it works. And it's so light and easy versus the old way, the old goal setting, the old motivation, the old force. So, practically speaking, daily affirmations, okay? Create a morning ritual, or just do the daily reprogramming ritual. Get yourself into the collective and create an environment that is conducive to your growth, where you are repeating 3 to 5 positive affirmations every day. It might sound simple, but the science is very clear. Affirmations rewire your brain, period. Visualization. Just take 5 minutes each day. That in the reprogramming ritual, that's what it is, 5 minutes a day, to visualize a higher version of yourself. What does she look like? How does she dress? How does she feel? The more vivid the visualization, the more effective it's going to be. And just 5 minutes a day. It's literally nothing. Environment. I want you to tidy up a space in your home that you spend a lot of time in. Maybe your workspace, maybe it's your kitchen, maybe it's your nightstand, your bathroom, and just notice how it shifts your mood and your self-image. An organized space is going to lead to a clearer mind, period. And I also want you to take into consideration how supportive is your actual environment. The friends you hang out with, the people you talk to, your partner, your spouse, whatever. You need to get yourself into supportive environments that are full of growth-minded people, especially women, which is another reason the collective is such a vibe, because it's literally putting you in that environment. And then reframing negative thoughts. When you catch yourself in a negative thought pattern, remember, is this true? Like, specifically, how is this true? Challenge the thought and reframe it into something that supports your growth, even if there is truth to it, because you're going to kind of think like, well, yeah, I have failed in the past, so yeah, it is kind of true. Okay, but that's because the neural pathways are so strong, so you keep repeating the pattern. What new neural pathway do you want? Shift the thought, reframe it into something that supports growth, and form that new, stronger neural pathway. Your self-image is an incredibly powerful force that is shaping everything, whether you know it or want it to or not. It just is. Your decisions, your relationships, your success. And so again, the good news is you have that power, and you have the power to reset it and reprogram it. And it all starts with recognizing these invisible forces at work, creating your self-image, creating your entire life. So whether it is your environment, your inner dialogue, your past conditioning, it is never too late to take control and align your self-image with what you really want, who you want to be, your highest self, how you want to feel. Okay? So when we talk about becoming your highest self, I want to share the exciting thing that I mentioned at the beginning of this episode. The collective is opening soon. It has been closed for months. It is opening again soon. We have completely shifted how it's laid out inside. It is so much easier to find things, easier to access things. We're actually working even currently on finalizing all those changes. So by the time it opens, everything is going to be reorganized and so much cleaner. We have a team of women just making this space so much more magnetic, so amazing. And this is my business model now. So this is where I am putting my coaching, my paid content. We're creating courses in here all the time. Currently, we're working on creating a live 8-week program on the science of what most people call manifestation, but is really just, again, those neural pathways, rewiring, reprogramming, and how you can create the day-to-day life that you really desire based on science, and just really kind of like simplifying this and breaking it down. It's beautiful. We're doing this, then we're doing a 30-day challenge. So the doors are opening in November, middle-ish of November. So when you join, you'll be joining in the middle of this manifestation program. So you can go and binge the other calls we've done and then join us for the rest of it. And there's a library of resources and support and coaching calls and master classes and programs that you can get in there and just kind of like pick your own adventure. What do you need? You don't need to join us live for things. Just go in and like take in the content and work on each layer of your self-image that you want to shift. Step into the version of you that you've always wanted to be. So, if you're ready for that next level, I want you to stay tuned for more details. I am going to create a wait list, and you're going to know about it before anyone else. And you're also going to get the opportunity to get a bonus that no one else is going to get if you become or when you become a member. So, the doors are opening again in November. Keep listening to the podcast, pay attention, follow me on Instagram if you don't already. You are not going to want to miss this. This is my life's work, and I am so fucking proud of it and excited for you to see what's going on in here. So if you've never been a member or you were a member, you got to get your butt in here because it is only leveling up and the price is going to continue to go up. So as we open the doors, make sure you get yourself in and grandfather yourself in at the lowest price that you can and hang out with us. We are shifting in big ways. So thank you for tuning into The Purpose Show. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Text a friend. It takes 2 seconds. And remember, you have the power to reshape your self-image and create the life you want. So until next time, my loves, keep shining, keep stepping into your purpose. You've got this. I'm so proud of you.